Hi, my name is Bet. I'm a local Hornbrook person, very interested in the history of this area. So I've been documenting some of the history of this area of Hornbrook, Henley-Hornbrook. And this is what I hope will be the first of several episodes of my YouTube channel. So here we are north of Hornbrook, just off of Interstate 5. And we're going to be getting on Interstate 5 heading south to exit 789 in Hornbrook. And what I'd like to show you today is Siskiyou County's oldest cold case. Here we go. So we're heading south here. We're just about to exit 789 at Hornbrook. Once we get to the exit here, we'll be making a left-hand turn. We're heading east on Copco Road. We'll be exiting at the town of actually where Henley used to be, a town known as Henley, which no longer exists. Before it was Henley, it was actually the town or mining camp known as Cottonwood, but there's nothing left of those things. So here we are, we're going to be heading east now on Copco Road. And all this here is part of the area that would have been the mining community of Cottonwood. We've got the chevron here on our right. And on our left here, you'll see the old Hornbrook sign and some historical markers. And actually, on the east side of the chevron, there used to be some old Chinese houses there, some part of a mining community. And now we turn left off of Copco Road onto Oregon Road. This is Oregon Street. It used to be the old Oregon Trail. Probably more appropriately, really, it was the Siskiyou Trail, but it obviously went north-south between California and Oregon. So I'll show you where one of the old signs is that marks the trail. So hidden along the road here is the sign that I told you about that indicates where the California-Oregon stage road used to be. It was actually right here on this road. And just past this sign will be the Henley-Hornbrook Cemetery. So here's the entrance of the Henley-Hornbrook Cemetery. As you can see, it's a pretty old cemetery. So we're entering the cemetery here, Henley-Hornbrook Cemetery. And on our left here, on the south side of the cemetery, are some of the oldest graves. I think the oldest grave in this cemetery is from 1854. And I can tell you that there was a man who was a caretaker here for the cemetery. His name was Jehu Jacobs. He was the father of Gordon Jacobs, who was on the Board of Supervisors for a long time. But this man, Jehu Jacobs, he made a lot of the tombstones or the markers, the grave markers for people who wouldn't otherwise have been marked at all. He wasn't a paid person. He was just a volunteer, and he made a lot of the markers here. So we're going to see one of the markers that he made in just a few minutes here. So we're pulling up toward the back of the cemetery, which is the best place probably to park. So we're going to park here, and then I'm going to show you one of Siskiyou County's oldest cold cases. So thanks to the caretaker, Jehu Jacobs, we know about this mystery. He cast this stone for one of Siskiyou County's oldest cold cases, which I'd like to show you. And obviously other people care as well. So over 120 years ago, Mr. Jacobs made this marker for this woman found hanging in a tree. And we know a little bit about this because Mr. Jacobs' son, Gordon Jacobs, wrote about this incident. So I can tell you that a couple of cowboys who are riding up by Ditch Creek, Mr. Donahue and Mr. Arnold of Henley, it says they were looking for property a couple miles west of Hornbrook and found a lady's hat, cape, nightgown, small handbag, two purses containing $1.15, a fruit knife in a gulch, and about 300 yards north of Clay Foster's house. So this is up by Ditch Creek. So they reported this find to a man named Elmer Cagle, who lived about a mile distant, and then went up the gulch and continued 50 yards further and found the remains of a woman hanging from a small oak tree. And after this, of course, they reported it to the authorities, and the coroner at the time was John Fairchild, was notified. And at once he went to the scene, and this is what he reported. She was a rather large woman, about 50 years old, wore a brown dress with a white crocheted collar of cheap material, a pair of cheap shoes with a patch on the outside of the sole of each shoe. The body was badly decomposed, having hung in the sun for at least a week, and perhaps 2. There was nothing among the things found on her person by which she could be identified except a small piece of paper written in vertical child handwriting, Hornbrook, California. And I imagine it would have looked something like this. This is what she was wearing. So they found a small sign like this pinned to her. And I was thinking that perhaps this would be the kind of thing that you would pin to someone when they're traveling. It's the kind of thing that people pin to their kids if they're supposed to go someplace. And I'm thinking maybe this woman, maybe she didn't know where she was going. Maybe somebody put her on a train and sent her somewhere. We don't know how she met this demise. It doesn't seem that she killed herself. According to the coroner and according to a jury that was formed afterwards, they determined that this woman did die from foul play. And officially it is a cold case. So officially this really is a cold case. If the coroner, Mr. Fairchild, determined that this was foul play, I would like to know what happened. I would like, at the very least, to know who this woman was. I'd like to know why she came to Hornbrook. And I'd like to know who killed her. I would really like to know who she is. And I'm thinking today, nowadays with forensic technology as it is, DNA technology as it is, perhaps it would be possible to figure out who she is. That would require, of course, digging her up. But at least we would know who she is, at least. So we're leaving the Henley-Hornbrook Cemetery now, but I'd hope to bring you back again another time, tell you some more stories about this cemetery. There's a lot to tell.